taking out and replacing a evaporator temperature sensor in a 2013 or 2011 Ford Fusion. So that's what this video is about, so enjoy it. And there's a little bloodshed and there's a little riding in cars, so it's sort of interesting. First step this morning was to clean off the shelf so I can get it running so that I can get it out of the garage. She's alive. As you can see, it looks a lot better out here in the sun, but you can also see all the dust. It's mostly original paint as far as I know. I get it cleaned up a little tonight after I get done with this evaporator temp sensor. First drive in 6 or 8 months. So I'm driving around the block, get the juices flowing before I shut it off again. Focus. I mean the Fusion. I just wish I could figure out what the bog is. I've been trying to catch the bog since I rebuilt the motor. I got cat paws on the prints on the window, and we don't even have a cat, so I don't know how it got in here. Maybe it was eradicating some rats or something for me. the ship box. Lisa's car fits in here a lot easier than the Torino, that's for damn sure. Well, the first thing I gotta do is correct something. When it first went out, I read online that you could bypass it with resistor, and that's what I got. I got some 47 kilo ohm resistors, but then when I got looking at it, I decided just to take off the plugs and plug the sensor in that directly. So it wasn't cooling, or it was cooling then, but it didn't regulate the compressor like it should. So what I'm going to do now is get in here and put the pins back where they need to go, and then we'll start disassembling the dash. There are the two plugs. If I remember correctly, the wires go to the 3rd and the 4th pin on the top row in the blue connector, and I just plugged them directly into the replacement motorcraft part. So I'm going to put the pins back where they belong, and then we'll go from there. To replace the wires, you have to take the white plug out there that holds everything in place. I use this to pull it out. Great tool. So it's all put back together now. I can begin disassembly of the entire thing. So far I've removed the panel, access panel on each side for these bolts for the dash, and I've removed the little access tab with the screws for the center console. Just getting everything exposed before I start removing stuff. The next item to remove is the center console. Evidently it just pries up, so I'm just going to pry it up, and that'll give us access to the there's either 2 screws, I think, that's on a bracket that hold the dash in, and also to remove the shifter so that we have room to swing out the dash. So I'm going to try and do this one-handed. See if I can get it to go. If not, I just gotta buy. Oop, it went. Ooh, and just keep working it up to the front. Put this cord out of the way. Keep working it to the front. There we go. Put the pieces, parts in the back. Voila. And there we go. Access to the interior of the center console. So, I think that comes out. If I can figure out how to get it out. I think that plug comes off, that plug right there, and then I'm not the best at this, but focus, this wire right here goes to the power port, and that comes off. And then there's the screws that hold the center console in. Hopefully I'm not making everybody sick. The next item to take out is this little panel here over the steering wheel, and it's supposed to pry up also, but it does not seem to want to pry. So look at it a little more. It pries, but it also has 2 screws in there that I have to get out to pull the panel off. The bolts on the side there are 7mm. The ones in there are not 7mm. There we go. I think that one's 7mm, and the ones holding it down seem to be 8s. Let me loosen this stuff up. The gauge cluster surround has 7mm bolts also, and it's a short bolt. The bottom of my little cluster surround, it has little holes there in the support, and they clip right there. There are 3 7mm bolts that held the gauge cluster in. I've removed those. The next step is going to be taking the gauge cluster out. Now I have it out, and it only has the 1 clip on it to remove. And then we got to loosen those 2 bolts back there that hold the dash to the firewall. So I have gotten the center console out. The shifter's held on by those 4 13mm bolts, and now I just have to make sure I loosen the bolts that are here on the side, on each side of the where the console was. After I do that, again, I got to make sure that the slip collar for the steering is marked so I can put it back together in the right spot. And then, so at this point, we got the dash loosened up, center console loosened up. I just got to take out 1 more bolt, I think, to pull that out. Then I'm going to go loosen the other side, and I think I have to mark the steering column down below. I guess there's a slip joint that'll allow the dash to pivot around. Remove the seal in weather stripping, and then you can get to that 10mm bolt right there, and then remove your A-pillars so you don't damage them when you rotate the dash. Once you get the kick panel off on the passenger side, you can disconnect this main wiring harness, and up here is the radio antenna, and grab, I don't know if you can see it, I can't hardly see it, but grab the radio antenna wire by the black part to pull it apart. I think I have everything disconnected and or removed so that I can move the dash. So here we go. I'm going to get something to set the dash on right there. Alright, give me a minute. So I have a stool to set it on, and if I do have everything out and correctly removed, I should be able to pick the dash up and swing it towards me and set it on there. So here goes nothing. Right there is the spline slip joint. Allows me to pull the dash out, and we're over that little peg that helps line everything up. So I just got to go give it a little bit more of a heave-ho and see if I can rotate it a little bit further and then I'll be able to get to the sensor. So I have the dash separated and peeled back, hopefully enough that I can get access to the sensor. My daughter's windshield's dirty, but the sensor is right there. There it focused. So now I have a gap between the windshield and the dash that I can reach my hand into to get that out. As you can see, I had to pull the duct out even more to get to that. Looks like it was in a bad car accident. So I have it back in, and now I'm just going to put it back together in the same order as I took it apart. In the being totally honest with putting the evaporator temperature sensor in, I didn't tie off or make sure that the steering wheel stayed in the same position when I was doing the work. And when I put it all back together, I had a little surprise, a funny surprise. Everybody thought it was funny except me, because I got to go back down and disconnect the steering wheel and I think rotate the wheel a couple times to the right and take some pressure off the clock spring, I guess is how the contacts work. But anyways, here is what happens. So as you can see, I'm in the car with it running, and if you turn the wheel to the right, yep, that's right, you put it in. I did not have it correctly positioned when I undid it or reconnected it. So there you have it. I'm gonna fix that. But the air conditioning works. There is the universal connector that I have to disconnect and reinstall after I move the steering wheel a couple times. So I'm going to position it so I can get to the bolt right there, and then I'm going to take it out, disconnect the steering wheel, move it 2 or 3 times to the right, and then reconnect it. Well, I finished. The horn doesn't blow when you turn the wheel, and the air conditioner works. So if you have any questions, message me through or put a comment down below. And if you like it, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.